Okay, so welcome. My name is Jerome Lewis, and I am a real estate agent, real estate investor, and I specialize in digital marketing within the real estate industry. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over skip tracing. So, the skip tracing video was one of the most popular videos. A lot of people had different questions around how to skip trace and that entire process. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about skip tracing. Then we're going to do a live demo. After that, I'm going to offer you some services and show you what is available for you to kind of tap into the skip trace market. And now, right, I'm all fancy and stuff now, right? I got some slides. So you're going to see some slides, and I'm going to walk you through through those slides and just tell you about how you could get those if you want those too, because I do a lot of presentations across the nation teaching different subjects, and people often want the slides, so I'm going to tell you how you can get those as well. That being said, let's do this, right? So I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate all of the support, but what I want to do is I want to actually so I messed up. I boomed out right there. So what I want to do is I want to ask you directly to subscribe to this channel if you're watching this video or any videos on here. It all matters. It all helps. If you find the content helpful, useful, please subscribe. And then now I'm going to insert my intermission so you can subscribe. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. Do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And then we're going to jump right into the presentation. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and we're about to jump right into the presentation. So I'm going to switch over to my screen and let's begin. So skip tracing, follow up. This is a follow up to the video, the popular video on my channel. The video was titled this. And one thing I want to show you is like you see these icons on the screen. These icons are it's a signal for you to understand that anytime you see that, it's a link. So for my people that I talked about, if you want to collect the slides, those are links, and these are links to useful resources out there on the internet. Okay, so we're gonna get into skip tracing, and I put a little cute dog here because I don't know, people like dogs and animals or whatever. So just a little dog so you can see that. Uh, Skip trace. We're gonna talk about who can use this. Business owners we use skip tracing. Real estate agents and real estate investors. So I'm within the real estate space, and we always talk about skip tracing. It is pretty common to skip trace someone in the real estate space. We often look for like properties, right? Especially as a real estate investor, and there might be an empty house or empty property. We call it driving for dollars. Say you're out in the street or driving around and you see an empty house where you're like, hey, I want to buy that house, or I want to potentially sell that house, do something with that house. It's like, how do I get that information? Well, that's skip tracing, and that's often what we do. That's why it's so common in the real estate space. We might see an empty or vacant house. We want to know the address, and we want to sell or buy that house, be involved somehow. Real estate agents as well, they might see a house that they might want to sell, and they need to find out who the owner is so they can sell that house. Skip tracing is very commonly used amongst debt collectors. So if you owe a debt, they find you using these methods, these skip trace methods. That's how they find your phone number, your address, and they contact you. They skip trace you. And this stuff is public information, so people utilize it wisely. Who else can use this? So I put here, and I put jokingly, but it's also a serious matter. Stalkers can use this information and use these tools to find people. So uh, that's real. And then I put this here because I got a lot of comments about this, and I got a lot of text messages. People reached out to me directly. Hey, can you help me find my ex? That mother effer cheated on me, and I need to know who he cheated with, or vice versa. And so you can use this stuff, and I'm not going to condone that. That you find somebody, I don't know what your situationships are, but people use this stuff to do that too. And I'm just gonna say no. I can't help you find that or whatever, but you can utilize these tools to find that information yourself. Like I run a business, so I'm more concerned about business transactions. Uh, I believe in business. People say, "Oh, I don't want to be sold," and stuff like that. Look, here's how business works. You exchange value for value. Sometimes that's money, sometimes that's time. It differs. But that's what I'm in business for, to exchange value for value. So if you're like outside of the real estate space and you're like you really need a potential skip trace or something like that, you're going to see in the presentation that there's a way for you to get that kind of value. Okay. And last but not least, just about anybody can use skip trace services. So uh, it's nothing exclusive. A lot of this information is public, and you can find out, a lot yourself, and you can tap into these tools yourself. So what is skip tracing? This is the official definition. Skip tracing is the action or practice of locating people who are missing or have defaulted on a debt. So remember I talked about debt collectors, that's how they collect your information, especially as a profession. So you see, like we real estate agents, we do this as a profession. We do this pretty often within our space. We skip trace people pretty often, okay? All right, so let's talk about why skip tracing. Why would you use skip tracing? Why would you go find someone's information? Well, it's some reasons are obvious, some reasons are not so obvious. And let's say you're missing friends and family, right? You can't find them. You want to find someone. Someone reached out to me. He's like, "Look, Jerome, he lived in a foreign country. And he's like, look, I'm trying to find my uncle. I don't know how to find him, and I need to skip trace him." Well, that's the case for you to use skip tracing, right? Friends and family. uh, Missing information. So you can just find out missing information about a people, a business, a place. You can find out that information about those things. Phone numbers. I like to use this because I'm an introvert. I tell everybody that I'm an introvert. And I use skip tracing when I want to find out who's calling me with an unfamiliar number. So I'll put that number in sometimes. That's how things get. Like some of us, a lot of us, we Google, like somebody calls us, we'll Google that phone number. And in a way, that is a form of skip tracing. So understand that a lot of us may already do skip tracing. We just may not be using like the right utility for that case. You can find addresses, names. Skip tracing is in simple terms is finding information about people. So we already talked about this one. It's who's calling. Who's calling me? Why is this person calling me? Let me find out information about who's calling me. Is it a business calling me? Is it an individual? Who is calling me? So we're gonna go into the tools that you need for skip tracing. And here, let's get started. Let's talk about it. So what tools do you need to skip trace? And it's 2021. A lot of us have these tools at our fingertips. So, in order to skip trace, yes, you're going to need data slash information. You're going to need some kind of input to put into your device, your software, whatever it is. You're going to need some piece of information. So, let's say you're trying to figure out who's calling you. You need that phone number. Let's say you're trying to find a lost relative. Well, you need their name or you need their address. So you need data and information in order to skip trace. That's an essential part of skip tracing. Next, you're going to need some kind of hardware or device. So you can either use a phone or you can use a computer. And I'm a business professional. I come from the business space. There's a battle out there about using phones and using computers, and I'm going to tell you hands down, just about every time computers crush phones in terms of productivity. So I'm not saying that you can't do anything on a phone, but computers crush phones. They crush tablets. Computers are a lot more powerful and a lot more capable in terms of productivity. Next, what you need is you need the service. So what service are you going to use to skip trace? And we're going to go over a few of those services. We went through two of them in the last video. So if you collect these slides or you're on this channel, you should. So one, if you're on the channel, you should be able to go find that video on the channel. Two, if you're not on the channel and you're just watching this presentation live from somewhere or on a website somewhere, you can collect the slides and you can click the link to watch the video on that slides. But we went over in pretty good detail on how to use those free skip trace services. And here we are. These are the free skip trace services. These are links to those services. We went into those services in detail in the last video, and they are pretty good services for free. So one thing I like to say within just in life period is you get what you pay for. So people often try to cheap out on different things, and I understand that not everybody always has money, but be mindful when you use free services, you get what you pay for. And specifically in the social media space, like those services are free, right? They say when the product is free, you are when the service is free, you are the product. So just keep that in mind. When you're using these services, you get what you pay for. So we're going to talk about professional skip tracing. Skip tracing services done for you, and we got a team of private investigators and professionals that does this stuff. We just do strictly skip tracing. So I'm in a real estate space, and all I have a team, all they do is go find information about properties and people, about properties that are most likely to sell, people that are going through something with their home, back on taxes, stuff like that. That's strictly what my team does. They go find this information. So I just like to say this. If you are a business owner, real estate entrepreneur, or other professional, you understand the importance of hiring professionals. So I always talk about hiring professionals. There are some things out there that we can do ourselves, but there are some cases where we should just hire professionals. And I'm not saying that you need to hire a professional every single time for skip tracing, but uh, there are cases when you should absolutely hire a professional because it's probably the best way to go about it. So these are the skip trace services available that we kind of do for you and we offer as a service, right? This is called I like to call these skip traces that we do. I call them deep skips because they go really deep and they give you a lot of information about a person, right? These are just the general services available. So if you skip trace a person, you can do an expanded person search. That's going to go into a lot of detail about that specific individual, right? Reverse phone search. So the reverse phone search is if you input a phone number, it's going to bring up all of the information associated with that phone number, all of the public information, right? Then same thing with the email address. It brings up all of the public information available with the email address, and then, you know, same with the IP address. And we'll talk about that IP address when we get to the live demonstration. Professional license. So some of us are licensed in professional fields. You can skip trace information about that. So in the real estate space, sometimes like contractors, they have professional license for contracting, and sometimes they just run off. They skip town, right? Skip tracing, skip town. They skip town, and the investors are like, "How do I find this information, or how do I find this person?" And they can skip trace that person and find out information about them using their professional license. So that's script chasing. You see that? Look, I did this for y'all. That little fancy. Pay attention to the picture. It's revealing who you are. So I added that in there. I was geeking out a little bit when I did that. So more done for you skip tracing. Uh, this is Deepskip, and we skip trace assets. And it says here property and aircraft. And what I like most and what we often do is this is how I learned about this. We do property skip traces. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but this is how I learned all about skip tracing. When I was a few years ago, when I got involved in real estate, I I had a mentor. I paid that mentor a couple $1,000s, few thousand, $3,000, and we would go out and we would find properties that had tall grass, that were empty, that were vacant, properties that just looked like they had nobody living in them. Then it's like, well, why are we finding these properties? What do we do with them next? And what you do with them is you find out who that house belongs to. You do some research on it, and part of the research that you do is you skip trace that property. You need to find out who was last in that property, find out the owner's name, and this is where I learned skip tracing from. So you skip trace the property, and even further, you can go beyond, and you can skip trace the people, and you can skip trace, you can skip trace the owner, the people that live there. You can find out information about just about anybody involved or that's been through that asset, that property. I don't have much experience with aircraft, but that is a service that we provide as skip tracers. If you needed to find out information to skip trace an aircraft, we could do that for you. So you see that the house is now revealed. So something else that you can get from skip tracing is you can get criminal records, criminal infractions. You can find out information about people. This is all public information. It's not hard to find out this stuff. So don't be afraid. Just be aware. Be aware and utilize it to your best ability. You can find out bankruptcies. So bankruptcies is a thing here in the U.S. and it's recorded. So you can find out bankruptcy information about people, about companies, etc. Liens, you can find out liens. So we talked about that contractor, like let's say a contractor skipped town. Well, you could have done some research on that contractor prior, or they could have a lien on a property or on their name. You can find out that information using skip trace services and judgments similar to criminal records and infractions. You can find out, the judgments on a specific person. So something that's common in the real estate space is somebody might have an eviction on their record. You can find out using skip trace services. Uh, I believe this is the last available, but you can also do skip tracing on a business. So you can find out more information about a business if you're interested in that specifically. So you can do a business search and you can find out all of the public information available for that business using skip trace services. All right, so this is where we are going to get into the live skip trace demo. Um, I'm bringing a special guest. This is the guy here. This is my buddy Carlos Otero. He's going to show you a skip trace service that he used. This is one of our partners, and we're just going to get into how you can utilize skip trace services. Whoops. So I'm messing up here. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's do. There we go. So all right, let's get ready for the live demonstration. Ready? All right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through a live demonstration of some skip trace services, and I got a special guest. I have my guy, my friend. He's a close friend, Carlos Otero. He is also within the real estate space, and he's going to show you how. All right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through a live demonstration of some skip trace services, and I got a special guest. I have my guy, my friend. He's a close friend, Carlos Otero. He is also within the real estate space, and he's going to show you how you can skip trace and get a deep skip on some records for your business. So, Carlos, you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let me get started. Let me share
All
my
right, yeah, man.
screen.
So share your screen, and we're gonna walk our audience through how this tool works, and I want to try to go through some of it. So let's
Okay,
see.
let's see. Oh, I got this. Here we go. Boom.
All right. So tell me, like, just walk us through. Like, can you go back to that screen?
Yes.
Yeah, and walk us through, like, on the left. So I see all of those links up there. Can you like give us a brief of each of those links,
Yes.
or a few of them?
So, yeah, so this is, they go by category. This is a great service, by the way. They go by category. This is how you do what we call a deep skip, aka they call it an expanded person search.
Okay.
This will go into everything from IP addresses, physical addresses, meaning where you live. It'll go into all known emails from your past, as well as any criminal records and as many other things. As you can see here, it's all listed right here. You can also do a reverse phone lookup. So if somebody is giving you too much issues with calling you on the phone too much, what you can do is you can find out who it is by who owns that phone number, email search. But all these are essentially in this one category right
Okay.
here.
So for let me see for the reverse phone search, that's what most people are like. Oh, can I help find a phone number? You're saying those are all in the same category.
Yes.
Is
So by doing an expanded search, a person search, you
hmm
can kind of find every single one of these. So, for example, let's just say we did an expanded search on yourself. We would find your phone number, we would find your email address, your IP address, any professional licenses you have, any properties you have, any aircrafts you have, if you had any court records or anything else. Also, you can do this for businesses as well. It'll attach any businesses to your name.
okay, that makes sense. So if you were, let's just say, like I'm completely slow, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
You're saying that we should just start with the expanded person search.
Yes, this is
Okay.
the best place to start and then to go down the rabbit hole from there.
Okay. So what if I don't have like, what if I don't really know who the person is or whatever? Then is that when I go to like the other options, like a phone number or email search?
These are here just in case you need to go directly to them, but essentially,
Okay.
this is where you want to stay. This is your home, that's your baby, and you can do everything from here.
Okay. So can you walk us through that? Can we do an expanded person search?
Of course. Uh-oh. There it is.
We got
Yeah, yeah.
Jerome booming out.
Yeah, no. Here we go.
All right,
So,
so let's use me as an example, and I'll
okay.
blur it because a lot of people on my other video they're like, "Oh my God, Jerome, people are going to come get you from your house." Nobody's got me yet. It's public information for anybody that doesn't know. This is a lot of this stuff is public information, and this is completely legal. So
Yes.
just
Yes.
be aware, like this is what happens out there on the internet. It's no, it's
This
kind
is
of hard to hide.
And it's perfectly normal because this is how you generate a list of people to then call for your business. This is very normal. So it's very important to understand that, yeah, everybody hates robo dialers, but it's a part of running a business. You must contact people to run your business. It's a marketing cost. So it's just one of those things where you have to continue to market to people and tell them about your product. So you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready. So let's do Lewis. Lewis
All
Jerome.
right. Okay.
And
Make sure.
so it's a lot of tabs, it's a lot of options here, a lot of
Yes.
fields. Is
Yes.
it best to do as much information as possible, or is it better to be broad?
It is better to be broad because the more specific you get, and if you don't get any hits, you won't really be charged. So the best thing to do is to kind of have an idea of what you're already looking for, and then go from there. So what you're going to do is I'm going to type in your name, type in your last name. So if I was to do a search here, how many people across the planet have the name Jerome Lewis? Obviously, a lot, over 100 records.
Right.
So they're going to say refine the results. Let's try doing because you live in Pennsylvania. Let's try Pennsylvania. Still too many people. So you can see here how it can get very difficult. So that's why you want to do less is more, right? So you are currently in Philadelphia, right?
Right.
And you don't abbreviate because if you abbreviate, it'll mess up the algorithm. So you want to just type in the full city or state or whatever zip, right? Boom, searching. So we have 58 Jerome Lewises within the state of Pennsylvania and the city of Philadelphia. Now we're going to obviously blur some of this out because we can't have people harassing people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So this is not you because it's are currently 80. Somebody's 81. Right?
But
This isn't
he
you.
got the email address I want. I need
He's
that. I need
he.
Jerome Lewis. He 81. Let me get that, sir. May I
He's.
have that, please,
Uh
before you
oh.
depart the earth?
Yeah. Did my screen is my screen still working?
Yes.
Okay. Can you still see IDI?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Give me I having some issues here. I can't see what I'm looking at. Hold on. I'm having some technical
Yeah, it
difficulties.
froze. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, might have to refresh. Might have to pause. You might want to pause the live.
Nah, we gonna go raw, man.
I mean, it's not working.
What's not working?
My computer is froze.
Your whole thing?
Yeah, something not working. So we might have to edit that or something.
uh, no, I'm gonna leave it in there. I don't know how to edit.
Oh man,
Are you what?
OBS crashed.
Oh, okay,
OBS
okay,
crashed.
all
OBS
right.
crashed. Let me bring it back up. Yeah, just pause the stream. But because you can edit it, it won't really
I'm
be.
not good with editing, so they're
I
gonna
I
have to.
I can do it
They'll be all right.
because I want them seeing my calendar. Is my calendar up?
No, we can't see anything. So all
Okay.
you gotta do is go, bro. That was a good intro, man. I'm pissed. Damn,
I know. I mean, it's still good.
fucking pissed.
All you gotta do is pause it. Just pause it.
Pause it.
Yeah, pause it. Just pause it.
All right, so we had a little bit of a glitch, and we're gonna get right back to exploring this program. So Carlos, it's back on you.
Okay, okay.
All right.
So we can see here this is not the proper Jerome Lewis. As we can see, he's 81, and you do not look like you're 81. So that is not you. Uh, we have
Oh
Jerome.
shit. All right. All right, we're having issues. My apologies. We're back. Carlos, it's back on you.
Okay, okay. So as you can see here, we have Jerome J. Lewis, which is 81. We can clearly see that you do not look like you're 81, so that is not the person we're looking for, even though he has your email address. Scroll down, you can see here is another Jerome Lewis, 56. You can see here some of the information. We have to blur this out, obviously, for obvious reasons, but you can see here their last 10 addresses here, their emails, possible IPs where they've seen, houses they own, numbers they've had, relatives that they have as well, or associates. Now here is who I think is who we're looking for.
That's me.
That is you. You are 32 years of age. We have the email here of, I'm not going to say it because I might
Yeah.
have to blur it out. So
Like
we have we have your address here. We have your last known IPs. Is it safe to say that this information is accurate?
Yes, and before we go, so that information is definitely accurate. I'm affiliated and associated with every one of these addresses, every one of those phone numbers, and pretty much all of those likely relatives, with an exception of like three of those likely relatives. But before we go, right, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, and we're from like the IT space, we understand IT, but you mentioned IP addresses. Could you talk about what that is for people that don't understand what an IP address is?
Yes. So everybody has an IP address on your any device that goes out to the internet. Okay. So there's something called an internal IP address and an external IP address. Okay. So the external IP address is what this program talks about. Okay, and it's able to pinpoint where you are um, accessing the internet for the most part. Okay, so if you go to Google, like for example, if I pick up my phone, right? If I pick up my phone right now and I want to go to Google.com, I'm still getting a cellular service or I'm getting wireless, like in the house service, right? And that is going to give me a public address to get out to the internet. That's something that you need. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but that's something you need to go out to the internet. That says that here's your last pinpointed location at this time. That's what this program identifies. So it identifies where your location is. So if you ever wonder how people figure out where you are, this is an easy way to pinpoint somebody based on their IP. You can kind of triangulate where they're at if you were looking for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
so
so
there,
yeah, this information for me, we're gonna blur it out because everybody's like, "Oh my God, Jerome, why would you put your information out there?" So we're gonna blur it out in this video. Um, but yeah, this is accurate. This is, people can you help me find my ex? Can you help me find my boyfriend? Stuff like that. It's very possible using skip tracing. What I want to do is, so we talked like a little bit about the product, and we just did a live demonstration. I want to ask you, like, like, we're real estate investors, so this is pretty common for us. Like, we know this stuff like pretty well. Like, skip tracing is normal stuff. Uh, who who would use services like this? Like,
okay, what's our okay? What is the typical person? The idea. So So the typical person that would use this is an investor or a real estate agent who would need to find the address of people to market to them to do direct mail marketing or some sort of email marketing or phone number dialing, right? So for example, the way I contact customers is I have to skip trace them. After I skip trace them, I have a virtual assistant make the calls for me to them to see if they're interested in selling their property. So this can also be used in any other business. So it's not like it just has to be used in real estate. If you know your target market and you generate a list of motivated sellers or just sellers, period, or an idea of people that want to buy your product, you put them in here, you get their information, and you put them in your system, and then you essentially try to convince them to buy stuff, right? Convince them to sell or buy your services.
Thanks. I appreciate that. So, um, I want to ask you something that people always ask me. They're like, is this legal? What is your perspective on that? What do you think about
Absolutely
that?
100% legal. There is no, that is something that people need to understand that this is all public information. When we decided to create the internet or just this whole society as a whole, there is some information that is going to be public. Okay. And, whether or not it's, criminal backgrounds or, business backgrounds or some sort of matter, there is no hiding from, just from participating in society. Okay. So it's not a bad thing. The thing is that it's what you use it for. Just like all things, all things you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. But obviously, we want to use it for good because we want to help people. They don't know they need help. We want to help people sell their houses. In my case, other people want to help people sell IT services, and they don't know what they might need one day. Like you might have a business where you sell hair products, or you might sell accessories. How do your customers going to know how are they going to know about you? You have to be able to get in front of them. And how do you get in front of them? You have to find out their information and send them a piece of mail. That's how you do it. Or you find them up and call them, hey, you're interested in buying some hair, interested in buying the necklace, right? So it's perfectly 100% legal. I would definitely recommend anybody do it.
Okay. One thing is like we've been kind of betting idea around back and forth. Like if people want like business owners if they want like one skip if they want to test it out. We've been like trying to figure out like a pricing model. And
Mm-hmm.
for now, here's what we're going to do is I'm trying to get him to do it, but he's like, no, no, I'm not going to do it. So this is what we're going to do, right? There's going to be a link to like services in the description, and if you want a full deep skip, it's going to cost you $7, and you get a full record of whoever you're searching for. And we can't necessarily guarantee results because some people don't even exist on the internet just yet. But if you want a deep skip for $7, there'll be a link in the description. You can click on that link and get your deep skip for $7. So for all of you, everyone that asks me, how can you help me? Can you help me for free? All of that stuff like that. No, I can't do it for free. I'm a business owner and I'm pretty busy myself. However, I'm like, look, let me find a way I can add value to these people. And we're doing deep skip one record for $7. In addition to that, um, we work with a lot of real estate investors, real estate agents. Like we do this in our businesses. This is pretty common. And we also offer a bulk skip trace service. We still haven't fleshed out the details, but Carlos, can you talk a little bit about that? And I don't remember the price that we came up with, but do you have that price at the top of your mind for any real estate investors or real estate agents that want like a deep skip for several records?
So for several records, definitely it must be 50, around 50 or more, or I'm sorry, 50 or less. It should be around like 75 cents per hit, right? These are high quality skips. Okay. So like I said, the kind of person that wants to do this is a serious investor or a serious real estate agent. There's obviously a person that's trying to look for their aunt or something like that, or trying to look for a missing mother or a parent that wants to do this. Obviously, you don't need to skip trace 50 people. That's why this is mainly primarily for business owners. That's what the bulk skip is for. So around 75 cents there. As far as the other prices, we will go lower per the amount on the list. Okay, so if it's 100, we might do maybe 60 or 65. We'll figure out some kind of good pricing model. But ultimately, if it's under 50 or less, it's going to be 75 cents per skip, which is pretty worth it. Because seeing how it gives you all this information, you get all their numbers, all their emails, all their IP information. If you really wanted to, you don't really need it. You don't need that. But what you really need is the name, the numbers, and the emails, and so that way you can put them in your system, easy to import on an Excel spreadsheet, and just go out and start marketing to them.
All right. So let me see. I don't have any final questions. That was a good demonstration. We went through, we put my name in, and we can't do too many names because not everybody, like you said a little bit earlier when we were talking, not everybody wants their name out there. So we would show you more. However, we have to be mindful of people's privacy, and I'm willing to put my information out there. So we just did that one skip. If you're interested in the services, we will have links in the description, links around the web pages. You know how that stuff works, and all you got to do is click on that link to get whatever service it is that you want to have. Carlos, do you have any final thoughts, any final comments before we end this call?
Thank you for having me on your channel. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Uh, I am Carlos Otero, real estate investor. I invest in the Philadelphia and Delaware County areas. You can see my website here, kind of scrolling across, Otero Home Buyers. If you have a property that you're interested in selling and you're not sure what to do, we take care of that. We help with upside down mortgages, where basically if you owe too much on your mortgage, uh, meaning the property value is less than the amount that you actually owe. So let's just say that you owe 200,000, but your house, if you sell your house, is only worth 100,000. We can buy that. We help with people with issues with they're going through a pre foreclosure. We can kind of catch you up on payments and help you there. Or if you're just interested in receiving monthly cash flow by selling your house on monthly payments, we also do that. We also buy cash. People don't like the cash price, obviously, right? Nobody likes a cash price because it's cash, right? But if you are willing to work with us, we can come to a solution. It just always has to be a win-win. And just thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Yeah, so you have a YouTube channel. You have a few YouTube channels. Any of them appropriate to tag when I post this?
I would say the real estate channel,
Okay.
the real estate channel. I
All
will
right.
send it to you. Yes, the Otero
Okay.
RE Group. That is my business.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, man. I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
I'll
Bye
see you
bye.
on Call of Duty, right?
Better.
All
All
right.
right, man. See you.
Okay, so we are back, and what we're going to do is I appreciate you sitting through that live demonstration with me. So we're going to go through the rest of our presentation. There are going to be some links in the description for you a little bit later after the video. We're doing this live, so we got to update some stuff. There are going to be some links in the description for you to tap into that skip trace service if you're interested in that particular service. Okay, so again, thank you, Carlos, for coming on, doing that live demonstration. I appreciate you. He's a good friend. He's not good at Call of Duty. He no matter how much he thinks he is, but he is a good friend. So let's go. Let's get moving on the presentation. So professional done for you skip trace services, right? You want some deep skip? We'll do a singular record for you. We might do two. It depends. If you want to pay $7, we can get you two records. I'll work that. I'll see what we can do. But you get a full detailed skip on just about anybody. As long as you give us the information, we'll give you a detailed skip report. This skip report is only $7 per investigation. So, again, like we said, we are business professionals. We can't do this 24/7. However, we can tap into our assets and the services that we use, and we can get you, if you're an individual, not a business owner, and you like, look, I just need one skip, or if you are a business owner, you just want one skip, guess what? We can get you a skip or a deep trace, a deep skip, what we're calling it, or full detailed report. We can get that to you for $7. It's only $7. You pay the $7, we'll get that over to you. We'll send you the information that you need within that skip. So a link to that will be in the description. Okay. So we talked about the bulk skip trace service, and it says $57 per batch per skip, and Um, this is not entirely accurate, but this is what Carlos offered. He said he'll give you, um, he'll work out some details with you. So if you're interested in bulk skip tracing, check us out. The link to the description will be down there as well, or you can just comment, leave a comment, and let me know, uh, and we'll work something out. And that's per batch. So we do it by zip code, or we do it by a list that you send. So we are coming towards the end, and these are the frequently asked questions. So I picked up some of these questions from the prior video, right? Frequently asked questions. Can you help me for free? And if you know me and you know my personality by now, you know I am very blunt, I am direct, I am honest, but it's all with love and care. Can you help me for free? I'm already doing that here. So I can't help you for free. No, there has to be a value exchange. Remember we talked about exchanging value? So there, I'll do the service. I'll do a skip. We'll do a deep skip. I'll reach out to my partners and my services, and we'll do a. If you want just an individual skip, we'll do that for you for only $7. So that's what you have there. Can you help me find my ex? Look, I'm not in this business to do help people find their exes or whatever. But if you want to go research somebody for $7, go for it. Be my guest. But this I get this so many people reached out to me about cheating exes and relationship stuff, and I don't have any advice on that. All I know is I can just find information. We can just find information about these people. How can you use this? We went through an entire presentation on how you can use this. You can use this. You can do some of the free methods, or what you can do is I interrogated Carlos for the tool. What I'm going to do is there's a way, like if you go into the description and you go through with the skip trace services, we give an option on how you can get access to these slides that I'm presenting. And there were a lot of links within the slides. What you can do is you can click on that link and you can access all of the services that we recommend using the slides. You grab the slides, hit the link, and you can start to use some of these services yourself. The one that really matters is that paid one because it goes full deep skip. And you can get all the information that you need with that deep skip. How did they get that information? So the internet, Google, Facebook, all of those people always ask, how did they get my information? And uh, they didn't get your information. You gave them your information. So you gave them your information. They didn't just go out and collect your information. They weren't stalking you or anything like that. Every device that you have, your phone, your computer, bills you pay, all of that stuff, you give these companies your information. So you can't really exist on our planet in our society without giving up your information. And that's just a hard reality that we have to accept. You can go off the grid. It's kind of hard, like once you're already on the grid, but you can go off the grid if you're scared and worried people are going to find you and use your information. You have that option, but that's how they got your information. You gave it to them. How did you learn this? We talked about this earlier in the video, and just simply, I'm in the real estate space, so it's pretty common to skip trace a person in the real estate space. We're looking for or trying to analyze, sell, or buy a property, and we just skip trace that property. So, and that's what we call it. So, how can I hire your team? You can hire us. We already talked about it. We have a link in the description. If you want a full deep skip, you can do that for $7. If you want some bulk options, we have those available as well. They'll be in the description as well. My final comments, right? You see these comments, and I say them with full love, but also care. I'm very honest. I'm very direct. I'm not going to lie to you. Don't be a stalker. Don't be out there stalking people and doing creepy stuff. If you find out some information, maybe you keep it to yourself, or don't go out like, hey, look, I got your information. Don't pop up to people's address. Don't do stalker stuff. It's public information, but people still don't understand that this information is public. Now you have new information and you're aware of this, but that doesn't mean everyone else is. So as soon as you tell someone, in my experience, as soon as people find out that you can find their information, their public information, they get really scared and really weird about it. So be careful, don't be a stalker. Use this cautiously, And this, again, like I said, this is public information. So we are blown away. Some people are blown away. People that are uninformed about this process, they are blown away that this much public information is out there. But it is public information. Um, what I would suggest is if you want to get familiar or understand how this works, skip trace yourself and see how that works. Find out the information that you can find out about yourself as a start, and just to see and get familiar with how this thing works. Skip trace, you might have something out there you don't want people to know, like on Google or something like that. Research yourself, skip trace yourself. um, this is it's 2021. It is not difficult to find information about people. Uh, we're giving it freely away to them. If you're on YouTube, you're watching the video right now, you had to make an account on Google to watch this video. Uh, on your phone, or your device, on your computer, there was some way where you had to sign in to some information in order to watch and utilize these tools. So there's no escaping it, and it's not difficult to find out information about people with today's technology, today's resources available. We're not going to get to the future if we're not moving forward utilizing this technology. If you want to learn more, this link will also be in the description. But we're going to start you out with that $7 deep skip. You can test it out. You're like, you know what, this doesn't work for me. You don't. You can go try it on your own. But if you want to try it, if you want to try the deep skip, you are free to do that. The link will be in the description. The link will also be in the slides. Again, if you want the slides, that will be available in the description as well. You can collect these slides and tap into the resources, everything available here. So remember, I showed you in the beginning this link. Anytime you see that icon, that is a resource for you. And as I gather more information, I will update these slides. So these slides will contain a ton of information and resources for you to utilize in your business or in your day-to-day life. So bonus, if you want the slides, I talked about this. I usually do this presentation for other real estate professionals, and what the offer that I make them is they just have to leave me an authentic comment on a presentation that I've done. This is not the case here. If you want these slides, there'll be a link to the description, uh, and you can find out how you can collect those slides by clicking on that link. Just lastly, for any of my real estate professionals out there, I have a course available for you. If you collect these slides, you can use that course and you can tap into just about any and everything within the real estate space. I got tech tools, marketing, anything around tech and marketing and real estate. This course includes that. Right now, it is only $57 for you to get access to all of that stuff. Let's see what else. Uh, Anybody that wants to reach out to me, you can reach out here. This is my name. I am Jerome Lewis. I am within a real estate space. My phone number is there. If you want to reach out to me, you text me first. Don't reach out to me asking me for any type of service. Can I do anything for free? No, I cannot. I did offer the service in the description. So if you want a skip trace service, you can just click on that link and that's how you get that deep skip or that service that you want. Other than that, if you're looking for like collaboration or other types of opportunity, what you can do is you can reach out to me. You can text me on that phone number. You can email me. My website is jeromelewis.com. That's how you get in touch with me. And again, that course that I mentioned, to do it yourself, if you want to do this like real estate marketing and tech, you can visit go.digitalrealestatestrategy.com to get that course. So we are coming up towards the end, and here's what I want to do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming through and watching the video. I appreciate you that stuck on and that were live. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave the questions in the comment section, and I'll do my best to address those questions. Okay. The resources that we talked about, I got some more resources for you. If you're going to collect the slides, if you're going to download the slides, these are all resources available for you. So these are each of the skip services. We got the free ones in there, and then we got the deep one that we went over, the live demonstration. We got that in there. Then we have some others. I used to run a cold call center and the wholesale business, and these are all services that I've used before. So these resource links are available for you, and you can use these in your business or your day-to-day life. All you got to do is access the link, and you will get an option on how you can download these slides. these are more resources. So remember, I used to run a cold call center. So for any of my real estate professionals, these are virtual assistants and cold callers. If you're trying to get access to that, you feel free to. And I believe that's the last resource slide. Oh no, these are more resources. These are more resources for real estate professionals, right? These are dialers. So somebody asked me about a dialer recently, and what I'm going to do is from now on, when I do presentations and when I do videos, I'm just going to include the resources and that I've used, that I've vetted, that I've utilized. I'm just going to include them in my presentations and in the slides. So if you go and collect the slides, there'll be a link in the description. If you go collect the slides, you get access to all of these resources. So one, two. So that's resource page one, resource page two, resource page three, and I will keep updating it. So I'll probably come with a page four, and with that page four, um, it'll be more resources to other tools in the business space or the real estate space. So one more thing, I got some more for you. I have bonuses. If you go through with the skip trace service, if you go with a bulk skip trace, this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, because I like the value pack, I like to over deliver. I don't want anybody saying that they didn't get enough value from me. So if you go through with a bulk skip trace, this is what you get, because I do this in my business. I do Facebook marketing, and we'll get a list. We'll pull a list from Facebook, and you can kind of upload that list to Facebook so you can market to those people as a business owner, right? So if you do a bulk skip trace, I'm going to give you 30-day access to my course, which is digital real estate marketing for it's digital marketing for real estate. You're going to get 30 access to that. I have a ton of documents. So it says content library document. You get that document. That is a document of content that you can post on your social media to generate engaging comments, engaging questions around real estate, to get people into your lead funnels, into your marketing funnels, to get people to do business with you. Content for real estate. Some of us, like, I teach real estate agents how to uh, do content for their real estate. And what you're going to get is, I'm sorry, this is the screen. So 30-day access to our real estate course. I charge, that course is worth $997, and I'm keep building it up. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the content library document. Then you're going to get the content for real estate document. That is a document that contains a ton of content and a ton of keywords around the real estate space. So if you are like struggling with content and trying to figure out what you should post on social media to generate business for your real estate business, well, we've resolved that with the content for real estate document. And then I'll also give you a Facebook ads webinar. So I teach these like Facebook marketing webinars across the nation, and you get access to that for free as well. So you get access to all of this if you do a bulk skip trace. And we talked a little bit about that. So just go, go a little bit further back on the video and access that bulk skip tracing. If you do bulk skip tracing, we'll give you all of this. So this is a value stack. We'll give you all of this in addition to you doing that bulk skip trace. These are some more services that we offer, and these are negotiable. The starting price for each one of these, if you want a list around these specific things, we do the whole, let's call it, we do the whole shebang for you. So if you want a list of if you want expired listings, you give us a zip code, we will skip trace, and we will also target a specific zip code. We'll give you your entire list, and this is going to be $97 each one of these lead sources. So if you want expired listings for, let's say I'm in Philadelphia, if you want expired listings for the Philadelphia area, 19148, me as an example, that's South Philly. If I want expired listings for South Philly, $97 will give me a bulk skip trace package. I'll get the phone numbers, I'll get the addresses, I'll get all the information around those properties in the 19148 area. Okay, same thing with the for sale by owner. We call them FISBO in the real estate space. Same thing with the for rent by owner. We call them FURBO in the real estate space. These are all packages that we give you $97. If you want a list of resources, $97 will get you the whole thing. You don't have to skip trace. We'll include the skip tracing in the list. So I was doing a presentation the other day, and someone asked me, he's like, Jerome, I don't get those people's information. I'm like, well, it depends on what service you use. So when we run lists, we give you the phone numbers automatically. You automatically get the phone numbers included, and you can go out and market to those leads as necessary. We also do right here, down here underneath, the neighborhood search. So you can I talked about zip code. You can target that specifically, that specific zip code, and you can do what do we call it, circle prospecting around that neighborhood. So I live in the 19138 area. If I wanted to do a neighborhood search on that area, I would get a bunch of skips around that. I would run our service, and I can get a bunch of skips around that specific zip code, and I can begin to market and circle prospect those leads. Next, we got the pre-foreclosure leads, and same idea, $97, and we'll get your pre-foreclosure lead list. So this is everything that you I'm just going to talk about those packages. So the $97 packages, if you pay $97, we'll get you a list of any of these. With those, I want to address some things. So the quantity, people ask, how many records should I get, or how many records should I expect? So what I'm going to say is, I can get you probably a minimum of 100, but it varies because neighborhoods vary, right? No neighborhood is the same. So some people are in neighborhoods with, or zip codes with 200 houses. Some people are in zip codes that have 300 houses. So that's going to vary. The quantity varies, and we can't tell you exactly how many leads that you're going to get until we run this skip. However, understand that we're going to get you as many leads as possible. That's what our team does. They do this professionally. That's the only thing they do. So they're really good at going out, getting that information about that specific property. You'll get an entire list, and we do it by neighborhood/zip code. Typically, when we do it, so I mentioned those two zip codes. I mentioned 19138 and 19148, right? When we run the service, when we run the $97 list service, you get up to a 10-mile radius. So it's not only going to be that zip code, it's going to be 10 miles around that zip code as well. So, and we can go up to 20. I'm going to suggest that you do 10 because 20 is a lot of ground to cover, but you can get up to a 20-mile radius around that specific zip code. And then again, remember, we're talking, this is not where you go to another service and they give you a bunch of leads and you try to figure it out. These are high quality skips, and our team, they go out and they find this information constantly. This is all that they do. They go out and they find information daily, weekly, monthly. They're keeping this information up to date. So these are high quality skips. They're not just throw the information out there and I'm trying to find out. These are very high quality skips. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I appreciate you watching, and we're going to I'm going to include links to all of the services in the description. And what I want to do is, I want to thank you, and I appreciate you coming here. And if you found value in this video, do me a favor and like and subscribe. I'm going to play a little intermission for a little bit, and then we are going to end the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the inside. I did get your comment while I was live, and this is true to find someone. Yes, it is very true to find someone. If you watch the video, you'll see that. And yeah, you can comment and you can personal message me, and we can talk about how either you can do it yourself or you can pay $7 for that deep skip. Okay, so I appreciate everyone for coming today, and we are going to end the stream.